Inflation has caused Texans to rely on food banks to eat. I'll have more on the story later.
NYPD has a suspect behind bars, but the motives remain unclear.
And Giants made history at first base. We'll have more on that later.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Isabella Quintanilla.
And I'm Andrew Fancher. Tonight, a new crisis at the Texas-Mexico border is about to have a direct impact on everyone across the nation. Thousands of trucks are stalled at border crossings between the U.S. and Mexico because of an executive order signed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He has required a full state inspection after the normal federal inspections on all trucks. This extensive delay has millions of dollars of fresh produce, food, staples, computer chips, car parts, and thousands of other consumer products stalled at the border. And backlash against Governor Abbott is growing from the White House, the Truckers Association, and even from members of the Texas Republican Party. Experts say we can expect to see shortages of food and other products as early as this weekend. Officials are predicting price jumps that will either occur or shelves to be empty. Earlier today, it appears Abbott was about to change his mind, but only allowed one bridge to reopen. This action has caused trucks to be delayed up to 12 hours, and in some cases, close down critical bridges altogether. And about 3,000 trucks a day cross these bridges as Mexico supplies 2/3 of all produce in Texas stores. Now, this holdup is contributing to recent food banks struggling with inflation rates, causing people who need food the most to receive less of it. ntTV's Taylor Davis has more on why food banks are being stretched thin. Taylor?
Thanks, Andy. Texas food banks are struggling to meet demands due to the recent increase in grocery prices. Staple items such as eggs and peanut butter are no longer cheap, causing families to turn to food banks for support. Many food pantries have seen a decline in donations despite the rise in demand and operation costs. In the past, food banks have relied on donated goods, but this high demand has forced them to purchase goods to provide for those in need. Although it is unclear how long the prices will be on the rise, food banks are providing as much as they can with what they have. If you would like to make a donation, simply visit your local food bank. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Taylor. A charter bus with migrants from Texas arrived in Washington, D.C. this morning under Governor Greg Abbott's new plan. Migrants were leaving the bus one at a time, carrying manila envelopes and wearing hospital-style bracelets on their wrists. Critics see this as an opportunity for Abbott to bolster his re-election campaign. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki dismissed the busing plan as a, quote, publicity stunt. Abbott confirmed the first bus arrival, and he said it included migrants from Colombia, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. Abbott's also confirmed a second bus is on its way to Washington. Abbott signed a letter last week directing the Texas Division of Emergency Management to provide bus rides for migrants from Texas to Washington.
North Texas has been slammed with severe and even deadly weather in the past 2 weeks, and last night we had another round of it. You can see on your screens the tornado that wreaked havoc on Bell County. This tornado brought down power lines, trees, and caused damage to several residential and commercial properties. Roughly 2 dozen injuries have been reported so far. The storm system that caused the twisters we saw last night could potentially lead to more tornadoes later this week, but we will keep you updated as the system progresses.
Now, I gotta say, Isabella, with all that nasty weather last night, we could really use some sunshine.
I know, it has been very gloomy lately, and I'm ready for a change. Let's head over to our weather anchor, Victor Villagran, to see what we can expect. Victor?
Thanks, y'all. As you can see, it's nice clear skies out here right now. The temperature is at 74 degrees, and it's feeling like that. With wind speeds high up there at 17 miles per hour, it's feeling nice and sunny out here. But if you move on to tonight, you'll see that the temperature ain't so sunny anymore. It's actually going to get a lot cooler at 58 degrees. It's feeling like 57, and it's going at 9 miles per hour wind speeds. So though the temperature drops, so too does that wind speed. It's going to be clear skies as well. Going into tomorrow, you'll see that the temperature is going to rise up a little again. It's going to even out more at 66 degrees. It's going to feel like that, and it's going to be at 10 miles per hour wind speeds. So wind speed also leveling out. Sunny skies again. So as you can see, no rain, no thunder, no snow. Clear skies here in Denton tonight. But later on in the show, I'll let you know what the rest of the state of Texas is seeing. Andrew and Isabella, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Victor. And now let's go to our own Nomi Sanchez, who is currently in the UNT Language Arts building with details about a new program for military veterans. Nomi, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Bella. Well, UNT's Students Veteran Services has brought a new program to campus. Good evening. Well, UNT Student Services has brought a new program to campus called Veteran Voices, and I'm here with James Davenport, who is the director of this organization. Now, James, can you tell us a little bit of the essence of what Veterans Voices is?
Well, it's a reading and discussion program that was created by two veterans, one with a history background and one with theatrical background, and it's sponsored by Texas Humanities. So it was a program that was created by veterans, and that we're very proud that we're able to put this on.
And so I know this discussion starts with reading classical texts and then discussing them. So tell us, why did y'all decide to have this kind of organization?
Well, it's a great discussion because the idea is you have 1% of our population today that served in the military and 99% that have not. So this is a way to bring veterans and non-veterans together to read and discuss things to build that bridge between the gap.
Mm-hmm. And so I know we talked before this meeting and you said that some of these people are going through some tough times. So tell us what you hope Veterans Voices provides for these participants.
It gives them the opportunity to open up and discuss their feelings. A lot of times we don't discuss them. So it gives us a chance to read about other people's experiences and discuss our experiences. And I think it's just good for everyone.
And so is this organization just exclusive for veterans and military service people, or can people from the community join this as well?
Everyone in the community is welcome to sign up and come in, veterans and non-veterans alike.
Okay, sounds good. Well, and for anyone watching, this event will be taking place every Wednesday from 6 to 8 here in the Language Arts Building here in room 202. So you can sign up at the Humanities Texas page for more information. This is all the information I have for right now. Reporting for ntTV News, Nomi Sanchez.
Thanks, Nomi. Coming up, you don't want to miss the giant that made history.
And UNT fights to appeal a recent court case. Stay tuned.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Somos papi chulo, recuerden, don't mess with Texas, y'all.
So So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
The Young Conservatives of Texas are suing UNT for what is being described as a non-resident tuition scheme. Sean Jordan, a U.S. district judge appointed by former President Donald Trump, has ruled that UNT can't charge out-of-state tuition for students rather than undocumented citizens. And to understand the case that may change the Lone Star State's academic system entirely, we must jump back to 2001, when legislatures passed the Texas DREAM Act. For 22 years, this law has allowed for migrants to pay in-state tuition if they've lived in Texas for 3 years and graduated from a Texas high school, which means that immigrants and documented Texans alike are paying an average of $12,000 in tuition and fees, while out-of-state students are paying upward of $24,000. Now, Judge Jordan has ruled that the Texas DREAM Act is unconstitutional. But what has UNT done in response? Well, their only public acknowledgement is attorneys are reviewing the ruling and have filed a notice of appeal. Isabella, back to you.
Andrew, tonight pressure continues to mount on Russia to end the invasion of Ukraine. The United States is sending a multi-million-dollar security package to Ukraine to help in their fight. And from the war zone itself comes word that Russia may be using chemical weapons. CNN's Isabel Rosales has more.
Apparent video evidence. Russia may be using banned cluster munitions in Kharkiv.
This is a violation of international law. Russians are using these because they don't pay any attention to these international rules.
Resounding questions on whether Russian troops may have also used chemical weapons.
This is a real concern. It's a concern that we had from before the aggression started.
The U.S. and U.K. say they are working to verify details.
Yes, I called it genocide.
Doubling down, President Joe Biden on defense over a term other world leaders like France's Emmanuel Macron are rejecting.
Putin is just trying to wipe out the idea of even being able to be a Ukrainian.
Je serais prudent avec les termes aujourd'hui parce que...
Pourquoi?
Mais parce que ce sont des peuples frères. Un génocide, ça a un sens. C'est le peuple ukrainien, le peuple russe sont des peuples frères.
On the ground, evacuation routes are closed. Ukraine's deputy prime minister blaming Russian troops for blocking routes and ignoring the ceasefire.
It must be done now.
Ukraine's president touting counterattacks on social media.
We have destroyed more Russian weapons and military equipment than some armies in Europe currently possess.
But he says it is not enough, asking for more weapons and supplies.
Anything to repel Russian forces and stop their war crimes.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
The manhunt ends for the suspect who opened fire on a New York City subway train Tuesday morning. 10 people were shot during this terrifying incident. Gloria Pazmino is in New York City with the latest on the investigation.
New York City police say they've arrested 62-year-old Frank James, the man they now call a suspect in Tuesday's subway shooting. James spoke heavily about violence in multiple rambling videos posted online, including what appears to be his latest video posted just one day before the shooting.
I wanted to kill people. I wanted to watch people die right in front of my face immediately. But I thought about the fact that, hey man, I don't want to go to no prison.
The videos posted by James give some insight into his trip to New York City. In one of the videos, James says he left his home in Wisconsin on March 20th and was heading to the, quote, danger zone.
We need to see more mass shootings. Yeah, we need to see more. There has to be more mass shootings.
Police say James rented this U-Haul van on April 11th in Philadelphia. The U-Haul was found in Brooklyn Tuesday after keys to the vehicle were found at the scene of the subway attack. Investigators also linking the gun found at the scene to James and tracking the purchase of a gas mask to James through eBay. That's according to law enforcement officials. The manhunt for James may be over, but the healing for victims is just beginning.
I still feel the pain
They gave me a bunch of pain meds, but it's still there. I can still feel it. I can still see the hole. I don't think I can ever ride the train again.
In Brooklyn, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
Well, Isabella, these past few days has had North Texas pretty on edge. I mean, we were looking at heavy rain, severe hailstorms, and tornadoes, which seems to have become the norm.
Yes, and with the holiday weekend coming up, I'm really hoping we have some great weather to celebrate. Let's go back out to our weather anchor, Victor, and see what the weekend forecast will look like. Victor?
Thanks, y'all. The sun is still shining, and as you can see, the wind is still blowing. My hair is going all over the place right now. But how is the rest of North Texas feeling with their temperatures? Well, as you can see, Denton is still at a nice 74 degrees, while the rest of North Texas is actually relatively the same. We're seeing low to mid 70s, a little bit in the higher end as well in Dallas and Stephenville at 78 degrees. And then we got Paris and Sulphur Springs over in the high to mid 60s. But the rest of the state ain't so much the same. You'll see Abilene is at 78 degrees, and then Austin is actually at a scorching 89 degrees. So it's pretty hot down there. Houston, not too far off at 81 degrees. And then if you look a little up, you'll see Oklahoma City is in the 60s along with Tyler and Amarillo. Now, looking into our 7-day, you'll see on Thursday, we're going to be nice and sunny again with a high of 77 and a low of 55. Friday and Saturday, we're going to get a bit more clouds, but we're also going to get a bit higher temperatures in the 80s and as low as 67 and 60. Now, Sunday, we're going to see a bit of an outlier. I hope you haven't thrown away those raincoats yet, because we might see some rain and thunder. High of 79 degrees, though, with a low of 52. Then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, clouds are back like it never rained. 75, 76, and 79 are the highs, with going as low as 50 on Monday, 58 on Tuesday, and 63 on Wednesday. So that's all I have for your full weather forecast. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Victor. Coming up, we have updates on the CDC mask mandate.
And bite-sized tour guides. Stick with us to see how these kids are repping for class.
The man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh?
6, 7. Hey, didn't see you there. Just finished my 100th rep. You ready to train? Yeah! You got your weights? Yeah! You got your energy drink? Of course. You got time to go to the Pole Recreation Center?
Yeah, what?
Listen, I didn't even graduate high school. I can't teach for the life of me.
Instead, UNT is offering workout classes at a moderate pace, including yoga, cycling, Pilates, and more.
Don't rely on your dad's old workout videos. Check out the UNT Rec Center today.
The CDC has announced that they are extending mask mandates on all forms of public transportation until May 3rd. This mandate was set to expire on April 18th. However, the CDC now wants more time to investigate the BA.2 COVID-19 variant. This mandate applies to all forms of public transportation, such as planes, buses, and trains.
And the CDC is now reporting that COVID deaths could top 1 million as soon as next month. Johns Hopkins University released statistics showing 989,000 fatal COVID cases since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, despite this morbid milestone, the CDC is also saying that hospitalizations and deaths are on a steady decrease. Officials are predicting 11,000 deaths over the next 4 weeks, one of the lowest predictions since 2020. But despite these numbers, domestic normalcy may be in sight. Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci spoke on this during an interview this morning.
There are people right now in
The overwhelming majority of the locations in the country that are in green zones are getting back to normal life. They're not wearing masks indoor, the schools are back. So there is a degree of normality there. So in that respect, you wouldn't call it a crisis, but you don't want to forget about it because we know what variants can do. Remember?
Dr. Fauci went on to urge people to continue staying alert to new potential variants and to continue precautions when needed.
It was a historic night last night for Major League Baseball at the San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres game. Bottom of the third, now 10-1 Giants at the top of the inning. Giants first base coach Anton Richardson was ejected, opening the door to history, and Alyssa Nakeem stepped through. She then became the first female on-field coach in Major League Baseball history, taking over coaching duties at first base for the Giants.
Now, Isabella, I hear the Mean Green golf team has been doing pretty well lately.
Yep, that's right, Andrew, but they are the only ones. Sports anchor Jalen Jackson has more on all of our North Texas teams. Jalen?
Thank you, guys. That's right, you can't spell great without Mean Green teams. Find out what makes these teams so great when we come back.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother.
What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
It's time to lock in. The NBA playoffs are face-to-face with us now. Our Dallas Mavericks ended their regular season this past Sunday with a 130-120 win against the San Antonio Spurs. The Mavericks finished 52-30 on the season, which clinched them a playoff position. Their first playoff game will be this Saturday, April 16th, versus the Utah Jazz at 12 at home. With the Masters finishing, I think I might have found someone that might be able to compete with Scottie Scheffler. I know you might be wondering who. Well, I'm talking about our own Audrey Tan from the Mean Green golf team. For the past 5 tournaments, the Mean Green has brought home Conference USA's Golfer of the Week. Out of those 5, Tan has earned 3 of them, which one being received today after a standout performance at the Brazzy. She finished solo third at 8 under par in a loaded field that featured all the Big 12 teams. She is now ranked 42nd in the country after the showing in Fort Worth, has 8 rounds in the 60s this season, and 5 top 5 finishes. The Mean Green will return to action April 18th through the 20th when they travel to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida for the Conference USA Championship at PGA National Resort and Spa. I think someone got on one knee and proposed because these ladies are married to the bag. The Mean Green softball team took an amazing win between conference series. Even with the weather delay, these ladies persevered and defeated the SFA Lumberjacks 6-1. This improves their record to 24-8. Now, even though we have one more win, we have got to stay focused. Conference play will be starting back tomorrow, April 14th at 6 p.m. to begin the series against Louisiana Tech at Lovelake Stadium. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jalen. Do you remember how you felt on your first day of college? Probably similar to how you felt on your first day of kindergarten. Well, an elementary school in Missouri is enlisting some adorable ambassadors to help new students have a smooth transition. Here's CNN's Alan Shope with the story.
This is our cafeteria.
6-year-old Daisy Campbell knows starting school can be scary sometimes.
You don't really know a lot about it, and you're kind of nervous.
A big new confusing building.
All you have to do is put your water bottle under there, and it'll just squirt out.
And a lot of new people.
This is Mr. Boland's room.
That's why folks at Maple Elementary say who better to show the ropes than someone that's been there, done that.
In kindergarten, you're gonna be learning the 3 R's.
The school starting the program 8 years ago. The idea, soon to be first graders, giving a tour and telling new incoming kindergartners what it's all about.
This is our kindness tree.
It's important for our families to feel welcome in the school from the start.
The school says maybe the most important thing to come out of this event, friendship and a familiar face. They say when the new students come into school next year, not only will they have been in the building already, they'll see familiar faces.
Seeing another kid and connecting with another kid I think is really helpful.
This is the library. You don't really get to keep the book. You do a lot of fun stuff in the gym. This is the 4th grade hallway. Welcome to Maple Elementary. We're glad to have you.
I know my favorite thing to do after a day in kindergarten was head straight to my neighborhood park. But is the weather outside even nice enough for that? Let's check back in with our weather anchor, Victor Villagran, one last time. Victor?
Oh, sorry about that. I was just drifting off with the wind and this nice sunny sky. It's really nice out here. Nice enough to go outside, have a barbecue maybe, get some drinks, and live like a child once again. Isabella and Andrew, back to y'all.
Well, let's hope that warm weather carries into the holiday weekend. In fact, do you have any plans?
I do. We always have an annual Easter egg hunt, and I heard it's supposed to rain Sunday, so I'm really hoping that it holds out because I'm very excited for it.
Well, fingers crossed, Isabel. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.